Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. And if this is your first time here, hit the subscription button below and give me a like. And if you'd like to leave a public comment, scroll to the end of the video and there you will see a place where you can leave a comment. This is the second half of Aquarius that I, am late in getting completed. But what happened, I broke my camera. So I had to wait until I got a new one. However, I'm happy to be able to complete it at this time. Before I forget, this is for anybody who's looking at the channel. Mercury is going to be going retrograde on the 17th, and this applies to all communications and documents and signing and completing old issues that you might have. Mercury is good for that, so you can go back and something that you have already started, you can complete it, but don't start any new issues at this time, not until it goes direct, which will be on the let me see, Mercury will be going direct. Let me just take a quick look here and see when that's going to happen, when you can go ahead with new issues that you might want to start. Mercury will be going retrograde on the 17th, which is Monday, and she will be going direct on the 10th of March. But I always give her a little time to get a little age on her. I wouldn't start any new projects until the 15th. Give her time to, get out of that, I call it the dead zone. With that being said, this is for, we just had a full moon too on the 9th. And that full moon is taking place in the 7th house of this solar chart, which I'm reading from. And the solar chart, with the moon being in the 7th house, going, transiting through that house, in opposition to the sun, which is, of course, in the 1st house. So we'll start talking about the moon in the 7th house. And this applies to anyone whose birthday is 4, 13, 22, and 31. Because that is the nature of Aquarius. That's the nature of Uranus. And let's talk a little bit about what is Uranus doing. Uranus is a planet, I like to call it the planet of freedom. It awakens you to long dead ideas that you might have, because it's such a mental planet. You'll be thinking in more detail than you have thought before. So it's a good time for writing and all types of communication. Also, it's a good time for, for you college kids taking finals. This is a good time for studying. You'll be able to get in a lot of details that might have escaped you. But with the moon in the 7th house here in this solar chart, this is a good time to do teamwork and try not to go it by yourself without having to work with someone, because, you might be getting a lot of opposition, but this is a good time to work as a team. You might have to put some plans on the back burner on a temporary situation, maybe for some of you guys that might have been doing wedding plannings. They might have to be temporary stopped at this time, but they will go forward. And this is also a time, to get out. This is a planet where you should be having some fun too. If you might be wanting to change your doctors, this is a house of professional people. You might want to make some professional changes, maybe change your attorney, change your doctor, change your dentist, whoever might do some professional work for you. But it's also the house of your relationship too. Keep that in mind. So this is the time you'll have to cooperate, because it could cause some problems. So back over to the 1st house, which is in opposition to this moon. We have the sun in this house, and as I said, calls for cooperation. We have Mercury in the 1st house in the sign of Pisces. And also the planet Lilith is here, as well as Neptune, which means that, you might be wanting to express yourself more. And also this has a lot to do with how you're looking at your own body. You might be into a body imaging problem over here, which means that you know you don't want to change what you're looking like. You might not like the way you're looking. And usually with most people, this has to do with weight for all of us who need a little trimming up here. You know, I said all of us. You know, in the winter, you know, we've come through the holidays, you know, where Mercury just made us do a lot of eating too, because it has a lot to do with diet. So let's just get busy, get into the gym, and begin to, you know, watch your diet and get the body that you want over here. In the second house of this solar chart, we have Venus in the sign of Aries. So you could just say you got a Venus-Mars conjunction over here, which means Venus will bring the money in and Mars will take it out. You will become too extravagant with this particular aspect. So just kind of watch how you're dealing with your money, because this also could give you some bad checks with Venus in this house. So just be mindful of how you're spending your resources. We got Uranus in the solar chart in the third house. And this is a good time to do some, maybe some intellectual writings if you want to do that, or, you know, get down to some communicating with your family members. And of course, this is also a house of your transportation, which should be good at this time. And some short trips if you want to go on those. In the fourth house, we have the power of fortune in this house. And it's reflecting over into the 10th. For some of you that have been wanting to, you know, thinking about making some job changes, this is not a good time to do it. Don't even think about it until the spring, maybe June or July, because this tells me that you should, you know, kind of stay where you are right now. And in the fifth house, we have the North Node in this house, and this is the house of fun and activities and your children. So, you know, have some fun with your children. Sit down. Maybe you guys might want to go out and do some winter activities. This would be a good time to do it. Maybe you want to take a little chance on bingo or the casino, or in the places where they're horse racing. You know, this is a good time to do it, but don't be too extravagant with your money here. If you get a win, get up and leave. Take your money with you. And in the sixth house, we have Sirius, which is an asteroid. And Sirius has a lot to do with diet, and I put over here for that reason. Now, there are no planets in this house, but by reflection from Pluto and Saturn being in the 12th, this is a good time to watch your diet and watch some chronic health issues that you may have been dealing with. So just be mindful, because Sirius has a lot to do with, you know, what will handle this for you is how you're dealing with your diet. So make sure that you are aware of some good, healthy eating habits over here. And of course, we've talked about this seventh house. The seventh house, of course, is the house of relationships, which usually come first, but it's the house of many things. But those are the ones, you know, that you should be cooperating with at this time, working as a team. And in the eighth house, we have no planets in this house, but by reflection, I'm going to put Venus over here because she can reflect into that house, which means that you'll be back and forth on a seesaw with your finances. So make sure that you watch how you're spending your money and how you're buying things. You know, from looking at Venus over here, Venus usually have a lot of clothes and a lot of resources. So you probably don't need a lot of the things that you've been picking up. So if you get something that you don't like, take it back. Get your money back, because you didn't need it anyway. So that'll be one way of saving your resources. And in the ninth house, we don't have a planet in that house, but by reflection, we're going to put Uranus over there. And this is the house of tests, long distance travel. And this has a lot to do with Uranus over here. You can get into a lot of detail So you could do a lot of science projects with this planet in this house. So if you got something like that to do, or you need to be passing some tests in school, for you kids that are in school or college, uh, Uranus will allow you to get down to the books real good and see the details that you need to see. Okay, as I say, we have no planets in that 10th house, but by reflection, we can put the power of fortune in this house because it's in the 4th house, which is the house of the foundation, the very foundation of the home and the chart. So, you shouldn't be having too many family problems either at this time. But this will be a good time to communicate, with the family. So we have the 10th house. We can put the power of fortune in this house, as I said before. If you want to be changing jobs, just wait. This is not a good time to do it because the solar charts say you should stay where you are. So, stay where you are until maybe May or June. If you want to change, that would be a good time to do it. In the 11th house, we have Mars. We have Jupiter in this house, which means you should be meeting some new people and making some new friends in this house. So Jupiter usually brings nice people into your life. So, and it could be a nice relationship coming too for you. So be on the lookout for it. And if you want to do some more hours, Mars will allow you to do that. And what I like about Mars in this 11th house, Mars will put up a battle for you wherever it is. So this is the house of your hopes and wishes. So just, it's something that you've been wanting to do, you've been wanting to come into your life. I think Mars is going to bring it for you. And so when new friends come along, they might be a little bit older too, but they'll be good for you. We got Pluto, Saturn, and Sirius in the 12th. This is a good time to kind of go within yourself, and this is a good time that the barriers that have been blocking you will be cleaned out of your life with this planet over here. So this is a good time to kind of examine yourself, get some rest, because that's what Saturn is going to do. You're going to find yourself isolating yourself a lot. And of course, you will be going within yourself spiritually too, trying to find your way spiritually of what you want to do as far as maybe the type of church home that you might be looking for getting into. So this is a good time to do that. So, don't think you're going crazy because you want to be by yourself. This is the time that you just want to do some soul searching. The sun, of course, is between the 12th and the first house. You will also find some help coming to assist you in this examining of yourself. So this is a good time to do that. So until next time, I wish you guys a happy February. And I do think that you're going to make some real changes this year with yourself. So just as an overall Mercury, express yourself with Mercury in that first house. If you want to do some changing of the body, this is a good time to do it because you're going to be very concerned about, how do I look? Did I lose enough weight? Do I have confidence in myself because I've got my weight down to where I want? Because this Neptune in the first house will make you examine yourself a lot. And then it'll confuse you too. So, when you're looking good, you're looking good. And of course, Venus in the second house, watch your money situation. Uranus, as I said before, is in the third house. And this is the house of communication, extended family members. But you'll be able to get a lot of detail work done here. And maybe get involved with some family members, some young people that might need your assistance in helping them in some kind of way with a learning project. This is also a lot of detail work will be able to get done with this Uranus in the house. You'll be able to see things that you didn't see before. And of course, the power of fortune is in the 4th house, which is good, of course, for communicating with your family and getting maybe some old issues out of the way that you have been wanting to get down to some good details and everybody expressing themselves. So I want you guys to have a happy February. And of course, you know, this year's a leap year. So some Pisces, you're not going to get a birthday, but you will know that you're a year older. So have a happy February. Until next time, and do come back.